Let's talk NFL game of the week. I think we just had it, but let's talk about the one happening on the weekend. And maybe, just maybe, I know you have said this a couple times on the show already. I've seen it in the comments. Maybe I'm not giving the Denver Broncos enough credit. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. They're 12-2 on the season. They've won a lot of games in a row. Bo Nix is definitely doing his thing right now. There's been some exciting things for the Denver Broncos. They take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is going to be a really good game. Jacksonville obviously leading the AFC South right now at 10-4. Denver's 12-2. Denver's continuing to battle to try and get the top seed in the AFC themselves. ESPN matchup predictor has Denver as a 57% chance of winning this football game, only 42.5% for Jacksonville. What is your thought process on this game? Am I not giving Denver enough credit here? Maybe I'm just more impressed with New England and some of the other teams inside the AFC, and maybe I'm just not thinking about them. Maybe do they deserve more respect? Am I disrespecting the Denver Broncos?
I don't know about disrespecting the Denver Broncos because I'm actually kind of in the same boat to an extent. I definitely have seen more from other teams. Let's put it that way. Not necessarily discrediting what they've done, but in comparison, comparison's the thief of joy. There is something to be said there. Looking at the Jags and what they've done this season, they've beat up on some bad teams and they've kind of had close ones with good teams. That Texans loss is the first one I'm looking at there. Blown out by the Rams, lost the Seahawks prior to that. But that Texans loss, he still hung 29 on one of the best defenses in the country on the road, no less. So obviously beat them earlier in the year. I still think this is a good Jacksonville squad. And I still think that Trevor Lawrence and co can get this done. I actually think, like you said, this is an absolute game of the week because this is, in a way, a good measuring stick for both of these teams. It's pretty rare you get a measuring stick in both directions, I would say. Obviously, just high-level matchups are high-level matchups are measuring sticks in both directions. But it's generally, this happened because of this. I think that you can see here if Denver wins pretty handedly, they're the legit team. And even if Jacksonville doesn't play well or plays all right, you can say that Denver is a good team. And if Jacksonville finds a way to take down the 12-2 Broncos, maybe the Broncos aren't quite what we thought. This Jacksonville team is just legit. That's kind of how I'm viewing this. I don't think you're in the wrong for taking anything away from Denver. The question for me is, what do you think of this Jacksonville squad? Is this somebody to look out for in the playoffs? Obviously, number 3 right now on the NFL website. If they win, they have a better than 99% chance of getting in. It's not really about getting in for this team. Are they dangerous once they're in the dance?
Yeah, what's crazy is I saw this tweet and I thought it was perfect. They're the Jacksonville Jaguars are 10-4 in year 1 of Cohen, and the Ferrari is still in the garage, with obviously Travis Hunter still being injured and being out for most likely the rest of the year of his LCL injury. Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't had the best season. Only 39 receptions, 601 yards, but he's leading the team. Jacoby Myers gets an extension. He talks about how amazing that they've been talking about how amazing that he's just fit into the system ever since being traded over from Vegas. T-Law, I think, is really trying to prove himself, is saying, okay, is he living up to the hype he is? Number 1 overall pick of the past. A lot of people are thinking maybe it's time to maybe look forward and move on to a new quarterback, brand new coach, brand new system. Is it time to move on? There was offseason comments happened. And instead, he's thrown for over 3,200 yards, 23 touchdowns. The interceptions are still a problem, though. 11 interceptions on the season. But look, interceptions you look at that stat, and it's not a be-all number. They're still finding a way to win football games. I think they're a decent team. Again, I'm not super impressed by them. I think there's other teams in the AFC. Again, I lean back to the Patriots and Bills that I think are better right now, but they could really change how I feel about them if they have a dominating game against Denver. Denver's defense is the impressive part about it, and I think that's what's kept them in their football games. But what Bo Nix has done has been impressive. If Jacksonville can turn around and win this game, let's say if they win by 2 scores, then I'm thinking differently of Jacksonville. But if Denver comes out and squeaks this win, just squeaks it by Jacksonville, then I still feel in the same boat as Denver. One of these teams have to make a statement for me to be impressed for these guys heading into the postseason. Until that happens, it's still New England or Buffalo in my mind as the teams that are the favorites in the AFC. Looking at the AFC playoff race right now, Denver obviously holding the number 1 seed at the moment. Jacksonville currently at the number 3 seed. Jacksonville has Houston and Indianapolis to still worry about. As for Denver, they have the Chargers as well. And if you look at the rest of their schedule, there is a chance. We kind of talked about this. with the Chicago Bears. There's a chance that if Denver loses out, now again, Denver hasn't lost a game since week 3 of the season against the Chargers, but there is a chance that if they lose to the Jaguars, they lose to the Chiefs on Christmas Day, which is probably not likely because of the Mahomes injury, but then they finish the season against the Chargers. Not only is there a chance that they don't get the number 1 seed, but there's a chance they can still lose the division.
Yeah, that's insane. That is this NFL ending to the season is absolutely turning up to be something special.
The schedule gods did great this year. I can't say that every year. This year they did fantastic.
Yeah, this is a special ending to the season for sure. And yeah, to go back to this Jags Broncos game, I actually think you make a good point there about like one of these teams kind of has to really amaze you. The way I was kind of looking at it is like one of these teams has to win this game, like that. It can't both be winners. I think in this, I think Denver is either showing that they're a winner or Jacksonville looks like they're a winner. Whether win or lose, it's more about kind of perception for me. I agree with you. I don't think either of these two teams are the top of the AFC, but that's kind of the beauty of the NFL playoffs. Maybe Joel Klatt likes that more than March Madness. It's a one game kind of situation, right? Like anybody can take any game. And if Jacksonville shows in this one that they're capable of hanging with a 12-2 Denver team and they make the playoffs, even with a loss, I think that they're a team that like, you never go into a game like, all right, let's look for the next one. You're already moving on to the Cincinnati type of situation. Like it's not that, but the Jags, the Jags can absolutely snag a game from you.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this game happening here. The rest of the Jaguars' schedule, if they win this game, they got the Colts, Phillip Rivers, or Anthony Richardson. We'll see what happens in that one. And then the Tennessee Titans to finish the season. I like them. I mean, we're not talking about this, but there's a chance that Jacksonville finishes 13-4 and they're the number 1 seed if they win out. We're talking about New England. We're talking about Denver as the possibilities. Jacksonville wins out. We're talking Trevor Lawrence as the number 1 seed in the playoffs. Are we about to have a year of postseason football where we have quarterbacks in the AFC NFC championship game of like Blake Bortles and Sam Darnold? Remember that a couple of years ago?
I remember that.
Are we about to have that with like Trevor Lawrence and Sam Darnold and maybe Drake May and Josh Allen? Like, first of all, I take that. I take that all day if that was the 4 quarterbacks left standing.
Yeah, no,
if it's anything that can't like, happen, but
if it's anything like quarterbacks, the year with who was that? Was that Cousins, Bortles, Foles, and Brady? If it's anything like that, no, count me out as a Patriots fan. I am not interested in reliving that because that one was a bit of a painful ending to the year.
I mean, just imagine right now, like what would that be? It'd probably be, I mean, if you're just doing 1 and 2s or maybe like that, like it'd be Stafford, Allen, May, and Darnold. Like what if that was the final 4? I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it.
I think there's a really good chance we get some really solid matchups at the end of the year, like regardless, because there's just so much good quarterback play right now. There's also a lot of bad quarterback play too, but I think you're going to get good matchups no matter what. I really hope it's not. I don't know. I don't think the Patriots can be that team that's like way far, perceivably above the rest of like that Brady year. But man, that just makes me nervous. Makes me nervous, man.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of stuff. Hopefully the fact that the last 3 weeks of the NFL season are so good, we don't get like a callback to earth and then the playoffs are terrible. Hopefully that doesn't happen because that would just be super upsetting. That's such a potential for such a great season this year.